very.
Oh,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. How are you? Have you cut your hair or pinned it up or?
I have, yeah.
Oh, it really suits you. It looks lovely.
Thanks. Yeah, I had a change. I yeah, for various reasons, but it's yeah, it's transformative on all levels.
Yes. Yeah, I hear that. I hear that. It
Yeah,
does.
yeah, it's just really interesting. So many layers of identity like constructed around appearance and all that kind of stuff that I got to really deconstruct,
Yeah.
which was nice. But then also it just I just yeah, it means I can get access to my scalp now and really give it the nourishment that it needs because that's what it really needs.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Yes. Hi, Maisha. Wonderful to see you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out this new laptop.
Oh, great. Yeah, we'll take your time. It's all good. We'll wait a few minutes for people to join and and then we'll get going. Yeah, how have things been with you, Rose?
Yeah, it's been riding the waves. I think I've now have a PhD in that. Riding the waves. But both yeah, just moving through a lot. Obviously, this time of year is it's got many layers to it. Um, but all in all, in the grand scheme, all is well. A lot of things I'm moving through, but I'm getting a lot of insights as to why. So I'm just trusting the process, and um, I can see the growth because of it. So yeah, definitely feeling the shift, and I feel like I've been saying this for years, but I really am feeling the shift. Um, in a good way, and then how I have to evolve with it,
Hmm.
and that takes a lot of layer removing and all sorts. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Yeah,
Great. Yeah. How's your new job going?
new job's going really well, actually. Yeah, going really well. Really supportive team. Um, just getting to know the services. Um, yeah, really embodying the leadership. It's really given me an opportunity to grow and expand in that area. So it's going really well so far. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
Oh, it's so good to hear.
yeah.
Do you feel like it's a step up from your last kind of environment and
It is. It
yeah.
feels, yeah, it feels because I'm managing managers, I guess. And not only that, it's the type of schemes that I'm managing and just the kind of themes that come up for people, the support. And it's interesting that I'm working a lot more with elders and what elders are going through. So that's, yeah, there's a lot of messages in that as well.
Wow.
But yeah, definitely feel the stepping up energy. Definitely feeling that stepping up energy.
Great. Hi, Maisha. Nice to be able to see you. How's it going?
I'm making it work. I'm currently on my little winter retreat that I go on at the end of the year to reflect and to peek into the next year to see themes and themes and things to think about. Right now, I'm looking at a lot of astrology and my birth chart, And I'm excited that level one of the academy is almost over, and level two will start around the spring equinox. So I'm looking forward to a year of a lot of learning and practicing. I'm calmed down because I look peering into 2026. I started maybe a week or two ago, week and a half. I got a little panicked. I
Oh,
got a
yeah.
little, yeah, because it felt, I was telling one of my teachers that having the vibe or having a feeling that things were going to accelerate next year is
Yeah.
one thing. But when you start seeing the planetary alignments and the transits happening, and visually, it becomes really, really real. So I did panic. I was panicking a little bit
Oh,
because
yeah.
I got to this point where I felt like, okay, do I continue on the path I'm going on? Or do I go back to what was comfortable and complacent? And
Great question.
I can't go back. So so that's what I mean when I'm less panicked. I'm getting more calm now.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Well, great observations. This is all the kind of stuff that I really want people to bring into the field, is what, what is it that we're seeing? What is it that, are those parts of us are freaking out about? Like, what is it that's coming up for us? How can we best prepare ourselves for the work that we're going to be doing in all aspects as well, of preparation is, mentally, emotionally, physically, preparing in all the different environments. So this is really great. I'm so glad you brought this up and um, yeah, make sure that you ask more specific questions with regards to that as we get into some of the content, because I think that that's a really great seed question. And just introducing Rose here. Rose, this is Maisha.
Hi, Maisha.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Rose. I don't know how to change my little gamer name on my phone. So you'll see me both ways. I don't know how to change my name. My sweetie party is me.
Oh, we love Sweetie Pie anyway. That's all
Oh,
good.
yeah.
And oh, great to see you, Kate. How are you doing?
Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm very well. Sorry I'm a bit late. I'm a little bit disorganized today and I couldn't find the link and I was like, oh, in a bit of a fluster. But I'm here now. It's nice to see you all.
Great to see you too.
It's you
Um,
too.
and Kate, this is Rose. She wasn't at our last call, but I wanted to just introduce Rose. She's a
Hi,
wonderful
Rose.
person in our community.
Hi.
Lovely to see you.
Yes, lovely to see you too.
Look forward to yeah, look forward to this journey together. I'm yeah, I've been to, I don't know if you've been to Natasha's space in Manchester. Are you based in nearby?
Yes, beautiful space, beautiful space.
It is. It is. Hopefully we'll see more of it.
Yes, hopefully.
All right, my dears, let's make a start. There are quite a few people that can't make today as well. We're still in the Christmas New Year zone, but they'll catch up on the recording. So we'll begin. I'm just going to guide just a quick tuning in, and I'm going to share a breathwork practice. So you have a second one under your belt. So just make yourself comfortable, and we'll begin. Okay, so when you're ready, just invite you to take your attention inside and start to connect with your breath. Start to Draw that breath in along the length of your spine as you inhale. And as you exhale, moving that breath down through your legs, your feet, and into the earth. Remembering just to relax the face, the arms, the shoulders, maybe placing your palms on the knees or the thighs. Allowing for a natural relaxation in the lumbar spine, chin parallel to the earth. Opening your crown to receive that electricity from the sun as you inhale, letting that energy move all the way down the spine. And as you exhale, allowing the magnetism of the earth to pull down, magnetize any stagnant energy, any of that dark quanta that we can discharge into the earth. This is our fundamental practice of grounding and accumulating energy. Remembering to breathe into the belly. Visualizing, and if it helps you to put your left hand or right hand on the belly, lower abdomen, not the upper stomach, but the lower abdomen right down below our belly button even. Extending that lower abdomen to allow the air, the prana, to come right down into the lower lungs. And as we exhale, you can even draw the belly in to facilitate the lungs to fully empty, because we want to discharge the energy through the breath also. Just coming into a place of stillness now and simply observing what's around, any sensations in and around the body, anything going on in the mental or emotional, physical planes. Maybe scanning the light bodies from the physical out to the emotional, out to the mental. Moving beyond the physical, beyond the visible spectrum of the body, into the light body of the emotional and the mental body, extending right out. And scanning to notice what's around, to practice the art of observation. Simply noticing and acknowledging whatever is around so that we can speak for it. Just acknowledging anything that you notice before we bring our attention back into our body so that we can practice a little bit with the energy, with the breath. So when you're ready, I'm going to invite us into a practice of 4-part breath. So I want you to inhale through the nose, again into the lower belly, and counting for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath now for 4, 2, 3, 4. Exhale now for 4, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. 2, 3, 4. Again, inhale to the lower belly. 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Again, continue. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Now let's increase that to 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Drop the shoulders. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Continue for a count of 6 now. I'm going to leave you to count on your own. And you can stay at 5 actually, or you can continue to 6. You can continue to 7, to 8 and beyond, but find a place that feels comfortable for you. This is not intended to be a challenge to prove how far can we go. This is about finding that point that gently and confidently challenges your system whilst enabling you to fully practice. This is what it is to be embodied, to be really present and meet ourselves where we're at with what's appropriate. Really breathing into that lower belly. Drawing that belly in as you exhale and trying to get that full inhalation, that full exhalation. And if you haven't already, switch to inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose also. This is an energizing breath in and out through the nose. If we really feel that we need to cool or calm our energies, then you can breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. But for now, let's build our energy a little bit just to prepare for this session. Let's continue to relax the face and the shoulders as you practice, feet on the earth. Finding that comfortable place. And following the next exhalation, just release that practice. Breathe naturally and normally for a few rounds. Just noticing how your energy system feels here. Just noticing the dimension of the mind, the emotions, the nervous system, physical body, any sensations. Feeling what it is to be energized and empowered in this way. Great. And so coming back to center, we're going to practice breath of fire. So keeping your attention inside. Just as we did last time, we're going to take our index finger and middle finger of our dominant palm, placing it in the middle of the forehead. We're going to close the right nostril with either our thumb or our ring finger. And we're going to inhale through the left nostril. We're going to do it slow to begin with for a few rounds. And as we exhale, we're going to close the left nostril and we're going to exhale forcefully through the right nostril whilst pumping in at the navel. So we're pumping in at the navel to force the air out. We're going to close that right nostril. We're going to allow the air to naturally come in, or we can breathe it in through the left nostril all the way into the lower belly. And then close the left as we forcefully exhale through the right. Close the right, inhale through the left. Close the left, pumping the navel, force the air out the right nostril. Close the right, inhale through the left. Force the air out of the right whilst pumping in. And again, inhale through the left. Force the air from the right. Now let's quicken this up to a comfortable pace. So we're just going a little quicker, just so you can get the rhythm. And if you feel comfortable here, you can even quicken this a bit more. So just activating that navel center, the third generator here, the color yellow, our internal fire, our sense of our drive, our staying power, our ability to think clearly, to commit, to activate our willpower. Then let's inhale through the left nostril and hold the breath for a few seconds. And then exhale through the right again. And then we're going to inhale now through the right. So we're swapping sides. So we're inhaling through the right, closing the right, and exhaling forcefully through the left as we pump inwards at the navel. Inhale through the right. We'll do this slow again. Exhale forcefully through the left. Inhale right. Pump through the left. And again, you can quicken this up a little bit. Just going at the pace that's right for you. We still want to get those full inhalations and a full forceful exhalation. So we're really charging up the third generator, activating that internal fire. You can go a little bit quicker if you like here. And when we're comfortable, we always want to bring our attention back to the center, to the third eye as well. So we're also activating this pairing here of the third generator with the sixth generator. Just a few more rounds. Let's take an inhale through the right nostril and hold the breath. Hold here. Exhale through the left. Bring our palms down. Relax the shoulders. Let's just breathe natural here. Just again, feeling your energy system, what it feels like to be energized in this way. What do you notice? Where do you notice your attention naturally going? Opening the soles of your feet, opening the palms of your hands, facing upwards, taking in the electricity of the sun, letting any stagnant dark quanta return to the earth. Just taking a moment here to activate that command, that internal command of your consciousness. Setting this internal attention, intention, creating a command for your technology for this moment. What is it that you're commanding into being at this time? Speak it now. Speak it fully realized. I am superhuman. My multidimensional being is fully energized and activated. I am accumulating the energy that I need. I am abundant in the energy that I require. Whatever is your command, whatever is your fully actualized being, vision, state it now. Bringing your palms together at your heart center, bowing down in gratitude to all that you are, to everything that has come into alignment for you to be here. For you to be present, for you to do your work. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and come into the space. So yeah, just take a moment to, you can make some notes if you need to. And I would love in a moment when we've had a little bit of space for integration, I would really love to invite in what did you realize, what did you notice about your energy system during or after that little mini practice? So I'll just take a moment and then we'll move into that shortly. Hey, so yeah. I'm so curious, how was that mini practice for you? And what did you notice about your energy system in and around that practice, or any transformation or shifting of anything on the mental, emotional, or physical plane in terms of energy? So just, yeah, feel free to unmute yourself and share when you're ready.
I definitely felt like electrical surges that, don't know if you noticed, as I was twitching. I thought, oh, so it felt very electrical, and I can, my crown feels activated. I can still feel the tingling sensation now. Um, I feel very grounded. Um, and my spine just feels longer. I just feel like I'm sat extremely upright. Very present.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Great. Well, I love to hear. Anyone else?
Yes, when we first started, I started feeling and seeing like a vortex. Like I just felt this swirling going on, and I couldn't tell if it was like the eye of a tornado, but I definitely felt and saw like a vortex. And then at a point, I saw the color green. And then at a point, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling hot. Am I sweating? And then came, it felt like ripples and waves. And then lastly, I saw the color. I saw green first, and then I saw, did I write it down? A blue. I saw blue after that. And then a coolness came over me. So I felt like I went through all the elements for some reason going through that.
Mm, wonderful. Great noticing. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I felt when you said about the feeling like you're shaking off that dark quanta, I feel like I had a lot of that energy before the practice. I really felt like I could visualize these things almost flying off as I breathed up and down my spine. I could feel like they were almost flaking away. And it's I mean this time of year is it's funny because there are so many wonderful parts to it, but it also brings up a lot as well. And I haven't had a very consistent practice the past week or two. Um, and I just felt, yeah, I visualized those dark pieces just, yeah, breaking off my spine really, as if my spine was like a column of light, and it was just getting rid of those, yeah, like I visualized it a little bit like a power station. Yeah, so it's yeah, I think I really needed that. I definitely feel more grounded. I definitely feel like my energy's settled, and I just feel glad to have some practice of some degree. And I feel like it's amazing how fast you can shift state. Thank you for that. It was wonderful.
You're so welcome, and I love this. This is amazing. So please feel free. I'm just going to let's just continue to vibe off each other and have a little discussion here. So feel free to come in or put your hand up or whatever, because I would love for us uh, just co-create. You know, this is what it really is about as we go in. You know, we learn to activate our inner technology, because really that's what it's all about. There is nothing that trumps this technology. No gadget, no biohacking software or machine is going to trump this technology. And so our ultimate journey, everything, doesn't matter what the name on our training courses are. It's just there to lure you guys in, because ultimately our vision, our goal is to help everybody activate their multidimensional technology. Because this is in doing that, in aligning to nature, and working with nature and working with these technologies, clearing stuff away, activating this multidimensional technology, what happens is we start to remember what and who we are. So we're able to access not just our higher self and information from our guides and other beings and nature all around us and the planets, and we can read information that is everywhere. Not only can we do all of that, but then we've got to learn to read that actually before we do anything with that. We have to actually learn to tap into that. We have to learn to read energy. We have to learn to interface with it. And it doesn't matter if you have a corporate job or if you have a traditional health and healing job where you are required really to learn to read that energy. It doesn't matter. It's relevant for everything, because when we can learn to access the information that's all around, then we can we can be clearer in ourselves, access that information. When we start to actually develop it together by discussing it and by sharing our ideas, sharing our insights, realizing things from one another, learning, oh, you switched on that by doing this, or you saw something in your internal landscape, you noticed that, it activates it for each other. And the more we do that and we talk about it, we develop these ideas and we gain insight on how to activate our technology, this is the fundamental way that we develop culture on this planet. That literally is what culture is. This is our human culture. Our human culture is to be and exercise our multidimensional human beingness. And then from there, we create magic. We run efficient, effective, powerful companies. We can be leaders in whatever field we want to do. We can do incredible hands-on healing. We can do our spiritual and grid work and have that impact on the collective. we're able to tap in all of these different ways in a much clearer and more powerful way. And so coming back to why I want to ask these questions, and I will continue, and I want to lay this foundation now so that I can be done with this teaching and we can just have fun and keep talking about this stuff, is because I know that this is how we are going to grow and evolve together, by sharing. So number one. Now, the next thing I want to share is that noticing our energy system in this way and being guided by what we see and what we perceive, this in itself it's sharpening our perception skills, our extrasensory skills, our extrasensory perception skills. And it is, in fact, correcting our nervous system. Now, we're going to go deeper into this in Immersion 2. We're going to really break down what's happening when we interface with what's our nervous system. What is our nervous system interfacing with? So when we feel stuff, what's actually going on the mental, emotional, and physical plane? What's that mechanism that's creating that cascade from thoughts to feelings in the body? Because it's likely that, for all of us, and I'm saying this just simply because I feel like I've seen this in myself and everybody else that I've worked with, it's likely that the way that cascade happens of thoughts to feelings in the body, there are some corrections we need to make in that, because we programmed ourselves and we were programmed, and things happened, situations happened that programmed our nervous system to perceive in a particular way. So in the end, we feel something, and that feeling may not be an accurate representation of what's going on. And if we're not aware of that, we can just get really hijacked essentially by that and flooded by that. And then that takes us into a whole different way of being and interacting with ourselves and others, and essentially not just depletes us and wastes our energy, but takes us off on a life path that isn't evolutionary for us and is not in service of activating our multidimensional potential. So learning to interface with our energy and read our own energy is so important. So when you say things like, and then I saw this color and that color, and then the temperature changed, all of that is information for you to be guided by. So I'll give you an example. One of the things that Rup and I used to do professionally, and this is supervision session, so predominantly we'll be focusing on more professional application of these practices and these tools. One of the things that we were taught in our Reiki practitioner level by our teacher, Ruma Krishna, was that when our clients see certain colors, and they tell us and they express to us, so this is a really fantastic technique for any of you that do any of that work where you're guiding your clients to go inside and to go on these interdimensional journeys. It's a great idea often to say to people, just like speak out loud if there's anything you notice that you feel you want to share. Because when they say to you, oh, I can see the color blue, it gives you an indication as to where they're at. So perhaps that means that something around this generator is being activated, something's in process, something's working here. And they may even start to be like, oh my gosh, this memory's just come up of when I was in school and I had to get up and I had to read in front of the class, and or I had to make a speech in front of the class, or I had to do, for me, teach for the first time online. I have a memory coming up of that and how challenging that was, and then I got a dry throat or a frog in my throat, and that memory's coming up now. That's being processed right now in this moment, and so it's really great just to be aware of that for yourself. Like when you start to see the colors and things, and learn to follow that for yourself. And I'm not going to tell you how to follow it, because that's not how it works. The point and the magic of this journey is for you to follow it and to learn to connect the dots and to be guided yourself. And in doing this, we are going to be activating our technology more and more and more. As one last thing that I want to share, and then I'd love to know your thoughts. One thing that Brooke said to me a while back, and I may have even referred to it in the immersion, but he said, like, can you really go into your liver? Can you go into your liver, like from the inside, and look at your liver and identify your liver and like what's going on? Like, what's the energy like? Is there damp energy there? Is there stagnant energy there? And read like what emotions are being held there. What's going, is like, have you got the ability to do that? Because that is literally where we're going with activating our superhuman multidimensional nature. Not only do we have the potential to do that and the ability to do that, but when we do, and we switch on that technology and we start to command our liver at that level, just imagine what is possible. So I'd love to know your thoughts if you have anything you want to share or any reactions, comments in relation to that, responses, triggers in your system. This is very important. Again, a foundational part of this work. Always, this space is for you to be honest and open and raw about the challenging beliefs, the triggers, the activations, the limiting beliefs that you feel and you hear inside. And for us to use this space to speak that forward so that we can actively work on that together, because it's these fundamental beliefs that block us from our multidimensional human potential and evolution. So please bring that into the space as well.
Yes. Because when I saw the colors, I immediately was like going to my chakra thing, like what color is that? Is that the gut? What is that? And I know where it's coming from. Like the blue is I hesitate to share because I still have moments where it's not even about vulnerability and oversharing anymore. That was a point. That was one point of me in finding community, but it's being scared about dominating the conversation, not wanting to be rude, not wanting to not wanting to just hold too much, like for people to hold too much space, not to monopolize, So I hesitate to share. I notice that it's like I want other people to go first to make sure that I'm behaving. I'm like, why am I even seeing that? And then, so yeah, so leading the color, leading to the chakra, and making me think of things that definitely hits home and it resonates. And don't dim my light. Don't dim my light.
Thank you, my dear. I love that. Thank you. Great noticing. Yeah, thank you for sharing and speaking that about the blue into the space. I know it's something that, well, personally, I have journeyed with a lot, and I'm sure a lot of you all out there have done so. Yeah, great. Kate, do you want to share something?
Yeah, I really echo what Mylisha says, really, and I'm on my journey of that too, of uh of sharing and I feel like I've come a long way actually. If you'd have spoken to me, 3 years ago, I couldn't even, see people in a group or in online and be able to speak something. So I feel like something has shifted, but there's still something in me that that hesitates or thinks, oh gosh, that was too much I said too much and I'm taking up too much space. And but I definitely feel like I can see that progress has been made, and I know I've proved to myself that I can overcome that. And yeah, it's just a continuous little digging process, and I try and have fun with it now more than anything. And yeah, talking about what you said there, Natasha, about the liver. So I had a friend who said to me, was it last year? And she said because I told her that I'd had some problems with my thyroid, and she said, well, she said in China, she was from China, and she said that what we do is we speak to our organs. Like she's like, what I'd like to do is I like to speak to my organs. So every night before you go to bed, just place your hands on your thyroid and just, you could say, I love you, or I'm sorry, and thank you. And I found that very difficult to come to terms with, and to even practice it. And I still have a block in practicing these things and in being able to speak to parts of my body. But I know, like, I really want to practice these things, and I really want to. There's a part of me that really believes in this and really believes we have the power to heal these things in that way. But then I still have this part that is the same one that sometimes doesn't practice, doesn't stick to a daily routine or a daily practice because she doesn't quite believe that it's real or that it will do anything. So yeah, it's in the same it's connected to the kind of practicing speaking thing. But uh yeah, so I have two parts which are always arguing, and I think they ultimately stop me from doing anything. So but I truly believe that we can speak to parts of our body, and I always think that we're only so big as well. Like, of course we can speak to our liver. It's only about this big, but like it's right there. It's not, and so yeah, that's my other part that thinks that things have to be huge if you have to speak to them, and you have to speak to it like it's a god in the sky, or yeah. So it's just yeah, a journey I'm on. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful journey you're on. I love hearing that. And, I just keep finding more and more studies about how communication is happening intracellularly through electricity. More, I mean, it's something that we've known, our ancient ancestors have known, have hypothesized, have known, and now science is confirming it. So essentially, the way that the communication happens being revealed is electrically through frequency, these specific frequencies that are coded with information that go out and basically are sending the command. So in theory, does that mean we ourselves can also send these frequencies and command, just as you were saying, Kate, speak to ourselves? The only way for us to know really is by going inside and doing the practice and knowing through that. And this is a really big part of this work, is in doing that internal journeying. The only way we can really know is to know. So that's it. But how do you know? It's having that deep embodied trust from the self, that that knowing that you have, where it's just, you just know. Nothing around needing to convince or prove. And yes, there might be parts of our minds that are questioning things, but there's just a deep embodied felt knowing. That's what we want to get to, having that all the time, just living from that place. And so, what beliefs do we need to look at in order to get closer to having more of that experience of that deep embodied knowing? So just as Kate, you beautifully, thank you, shared that honesty of parts of us that are blocking our practice, that are making it so that we don't stick to our daily routine, like coming in and distracting us, like different ways that happens. It's important to be aware and to notice how that distraction occurs, or how that dissociation occurs, or how that disconnection occurs, but then to ask the questions: what is that part? What role is it playing? And to find out why it's actually distracting me in that way. What is it afraid will happen if it doesn't distract me? This is a golden IFS question. What is it afraid will happen if it doesn't take me away? And that's when we start to find those deeper dimensions of cause of why those parts of us are really afraid, and where those ultimate beliefs come from. So we want to do a little bit more digging. And Kate beautifully shared that part of me doesn't believe it will work. So this is what we want to get to. We want to quickly in this process, and this is something we want to do with ourselves and our clients and the colleagues in our corporate environments, is let's just get to the heart of the matter rather than spending weeks and years trying to like get through. Let's just go right in there. What's really going on? What are the core fundamental beliefs that are being held in the system that are creating that separation from self, separation from nature, separation from our lifestyle, our embodied practice? So that's such a beautiful recognition, Kate. And I'm curious to know if any of you have noticed that within yourselves. Similar thing.
Yeah, I definitely echo what both Mylisha and Kate was saying about, I suppose, my experience with the throat chakra over the years has been, I suppose now I have some understanding about what that meant, is as a child, regular tonsillitis. If I caught a cold, it was always to do with the throat, it was always to do with the chest. And I'm skeptical in some ways over the years, but curious enough to say, but what if it works? What if it works? What if speaking to your throat works? What if wearing the colour blue around your throat, the energy of that colour, what if it works? What if I learn to move out of that comfort versus complacency and put myself forward for speaking at an event? What if I did read out loud? And really battling with those, but your voice is going to shake and your mind's going to go blank, and all these survival messages that come through to prevent you from, moving out of your comfort zone. Belief systems that are programs. I'm learning that they are programs. I did come across a book from Louise Hay, and she talks about the very thing, and it's like the alchemy of healing. And it basically talks about the different parts of your body and how that it holds different energies. For example, the throat is speaking your truth, and the lungs is about grief, lower spine is about levels of support and sitting on things like your coccyx, and your kidneys is childhood fear. And the more I've explored those things, the more I've been open to the idea of speaking to parts of my body and just becoming more aware of its response, and actually getting some answers sometimes. And that takes a lot of holding space for myself with compassion, because some things do come up, some themes do come up that relate to what I've read. So maybe things from the past, childhood fear, anger, grief, lots of grief over the years, and how that may have manifested into asthma. All these kind of things that have really supported me through this journey of energy medicine as well. So paying more attention to areas like my chest and my throat, my stomach area, a lot of digestive issues and what that meant. And it's still a journey, but I'm really beginning to see that if you do connect and speak to your body, it can hear you, it is you. So yeah, it's almost scary. I'll own that. I find it quite frightening that you can do things on command sometimes, because it's a very, very powerful thing to embody. And that what if, it becomes a bigger and bigger and bigger question. Because what if you can do things at will? What if you can actually call in something and your day just manifests exactly how you commanded it? And there's times I've tested that and it's worked. And there's a part of me in terms of belief systems. No, you're not ready for that. That's like you said, Kate. That's too big. That is too big. So you kind of return to the parts that embody survival, and it's being able to shift um, from that survival space to, like you say, Natasha, embodying that superpower and being able to command it and stand in it. So yes, I think it is possible. And just the thought of that is just literally. But at the same time, I'm curious enough to tap into that and see what happens.
So I invite you, Rose and Kate, you've both shared there some really important parts. Some, I call them gatekeeper parts that hold some real keys to your deeper transformation. So, Kate, the part of you that doesn't believe it will work, the routines, the practices, my invitation to you is to ask in your own spare time, ask that part of you what it's afraid of or what it's concerned about will happen. What is it concerned would happen if it did work? If you did the routine and it worked? And keep asking it, and what, whatever response you get, keep asking, and what are you afraid will happen if that happens? And what are you afraid will, and keep going until you get to that core belief or the core burden or the core memory. And bring that with you. Bring whatever awareness you have with you into group therapy. And the same with you, Rose, as well, is to tune in to those parts of you that are afraid of that it's too big. That, when you see those transformations and it's like the evidence is there, what are those parts that are afraid is going to happen now that they have the evidence and they know that it's possible? What's too big? What are they concerned about? What is the thing that's big? What is even that potential? And how might that impact you or harm you? What are they afraid harm is going to come to you? Those are the sorts of questions I invite you to pose to your internal system. See what comes up and bring that into group therapy and really actively work on whatever you feel for all of you is blocking your parts, whatever you feel whatever parts you feel are blocking you to do your routines and your practices. This is number one. This is what we can bring into our professional work with our clients. This is what we can bring into our corporate environments with the people that we work with. Let's just get straight to the heart of the matter. What is the thing that's blocking us from doing the number one priority? And actually, if you're in a position where you're like, I don't even know what my priority is, what is it that's blocking you from recognizing what your priority is? And, absolute, like the not secret, the big not so secret is we've already spoken about what our priority is. It's really this, yeah? So bring that stuff into group therapy. Any other comments, realizations, reactions, triggers, internal dynamics?
Yeah, I wrote some things down, but I'll bring it in group therapy. But I think it's so funny how still in the stillness and the quiet, the answers can just appear just like that. And it's so funny that I realized at a point in my life, I went from la la la, I don't want to hear, I don't want to hear, to being like, show me a sign, give me the information. And now it's just like, if I just turn off all the distractions and take a moment, the answers come quicker if I let it. And I think in that is being aware of being compassionate with yourself when you get the answers that you might not want or like or expected. And then when you get the answers to act on them or activate them. So I'm noticing delays that I have put on myself. And it's gotten better, of course, but some habits die hard. And I have some understanding today of where some of those things came from. And like, just for example, there are certain things I know I should do more and be more about, but I know my inner child is like, we grew up so fast, we were so responsible. Can't we just, play now? you know? So I've been talking to her a lot more this year, and we still have things to work on.
Great, wonderful. Thank you for sharing. I'm just loving this depth of honesty and rawness. It's great. Just to say hi, Tamara. Hope you're well, my dear. We're just having a little discussion about our belief systems, particularly the beliefs that block us, the parts of us, the blocks that we have, our beliefs around practicing self-practice, discipline, also prioritizing ourselves. So welcome into the space. One thing I wanted to speak to, Maisha, thank you for that. Just reminding me or directing me, pointing me into the direction of the discernment. And I have a video I can share. Let me write that down. That I made recently. The importance of being able to discern with what's coming through. Now, what I don't want to do here is encourage you to upregulate a part of you to always be there as things are coming in, commentating and helping you discern. That's not what we want to do. We want an embodied skill, the embodied skill as part of our technology, a part of our higher self technology, is that with that embodiment of self, we know when what's coming through is a knowing, is a higher self knowing, an embodied knowing, and that we know when it's a part. So that's why we teach the skills of tuning into parts of us, parts of the mind, parts of the body, parts of the emotional system, just to recognize feelings, thoughts, emotions, to discern between what's what and what's coming from where, so that we start to recognize what is a thought, what is a part of us. Because sometimes when we don't have that heightened, refined sense of consciousness, we can often mistake a higher self knowing. We can often mistake a part of us for a higher self knowing. Then we carry that around and we go, oh, I was, and we make decisions from that. I have to give somebody an opinion, or I have to give someone a viewpoint, or I have to do something, or I have to go somewhere, or anything. Could be really anything, but it's about recognizing, discerning when we get that knowing that it really is a knowing rather than being a thought from our part. It's really, really important. And and we don't need to really again upregulate a part of us that becomes like skeptical of everything that comes through, because then that in itself is just creating more mental neurosis for our parts. But it's just to be just to know and be aware that the more you refine your system, the more that embodied knowing becomes embodied, and the messages that come through, you're able to discern where they're coming from. Sometimes we get messages from our guides as well. Sometimes we get messages from our ancestors. Sometimes we get messages from our teachers in the ether through our dreams. Sometimes from other beings, that we're connected to. So it's that deep trust that we are developing within ourselves to know for our parts to not be questioning us anymore too much. So what work do we need to do with those parts of us that are questioning? We've got to get really curious with that, because otherwise what we're doing is we're just constantly bypassing parts that are questioning us. So it's there and we get kind of sick of the voice and we get frustrated with it. But what we do is we need to go to those parts of us, have the courage to sit with those parts of us that are questioning, that are creating resistance, that are telling us, oh, this is bad, or this isn't good, or implanting those thoughts, implanting those ideas. Let's get curious towards that. But it does take courage in order to get curious, to be able to sit with that. And again, that's where the practice comes in. Easiest, quickest shortcut to cultivating that self energy, that courage, that presence is simply through doing the energy practice. Great. So I'd like to shift a little bit just for the last sort of 20, 25 minutes. We'll take a break for like 2 minutes, just a quick bio break, and then we'll come back for the last half hour. And what I'd like to do is to just start to get a sense of the kinds of things that we're going to be bringing into this supervision session. So just from today, I would love for us to list and just put in the chat or just speak out loud some of the things that we are noticing arising in the professional work that we do. Now, don't think too much about like, oh, is it relevant to bring it? Is it a health thing? Is it a well-being thing? Is it a holistic thing? Is it a practitioner thing? Is it relevant for this program? Don't think about that. Quite a few of you actually work in corporate jobs. I think half of you, like more than half of you, are also in let's call it a corporate job or some version of a private company, and that kind of environment with those dynamics going on. And so that's just as relevant as those of you that are practicing in a traditional health and well-being job. So I'd love for us to spend some time on that, bring it up. Let's have a little discussion about some of this and see where this ship is steering towards and what we might be exploring in the subsequent sessions to get our creative juices flowing, get us reflecting a little bit so that we can bring more stuff into the space next time, do a little bit of homework maybe in between. So let's take a 2-minute break, be back at 10 past, and we'll get into it. And feel free to prepare and drop things in the chat in the break.
Natasha, didn't was from the beginning, and I don't know what to write about my therapy or what.
Absolutely. Just anything that you're noticing Any issues you're having, any blocks, any anything that you feel that is arising that you're noticing in your work. We will be discussing that in the supervision session. So this is a supervision session, and we'll have more of these sessions.
Okay.
Great. So let's see where we're at here. Great. So please feel free to bring forward, what have you been noticing in your professional work? What issues do you have arising? What blocks do you notice within yourself arising in relation to the work that you do? Where do you notice yourself getting triggered? What things, aspects of your work do your parts struggle with? Is it public speaking for some of you? Is it um, giving reviews to people? Is it a particular aspect of your therapeutic work that you find challenging? Or perhaps there's something that you've noticed when you're in an interaction with a client or with a colleague that you notice parts of you maybe getting activated or triggered on. I know that for me, there were certain stories within that I would hear my clients speaking where the memory was so similar to something that I'd experienced. I noticed parts of myself getting activated and getting triggered, and I had to really watch that so that I could get that to relax back. So these are the sorts of things I would love for you to bring into this space. Great. Maisha, you want to go first? Oh, I think you're still muted. Oh, can't hear you. Oh,
Here we
there
go.
we go. Oh, there we go.
So today I was reflecting on 2025 and 2016, my number 9 years, and they're always really transformative, creatively, like work, like it's always really great, magical things that happen to elevate myself in the outside world. But something that always takes a hit is my personal wellness practices. My number 9 years is when it's like I don't eat all day, and then around 8 p.m. I'm like, oh my God, I need to eat something, and I overeat. Or my sleep is lacking because instead of 9 to 5, because of deadlines, I'm working from like 9 to 9. And then, I'm having coffee after 4. Like my wellness practices take a big hit first. It's like I'm so busy taking care of work and everybody else and creative projects and deadline that even from working out 6 days a week, um, oh, it's so late, let me just order out food. Or I'm doing really well with food, but I haven't been to the gym in like 2 weeks. So it's my healthy wellness habits are the main issue that always goes to the wayside when life be life in. So that's something I really want to work on, is having a strategy or a routine that I can just hold and just be like it's just part of who I am consistently, so that nothing takes over, because it happens a lot. Work takes over, family takes over, stuff like
Beautiful. Yeah, a great one. And I'm making a note of these as well, everyone, so that we can make sure that we spend good time on them in subsequent sessions too. So thank you so much for sharing. I'm really curious, Maisha. You notice that you find that something that this takes over, like work takes over. I'm assuming that you mean that, let's say, stuff takes over. Your well, your that stuff takes over that part of you that wants to do your wellness practices.
Yes.
Is that right? That's what you're noticing. Okay. So what is it that you notice takes over? What actions, the
Yeah,
thoughts that take over?
responsibility, you know. When it comes to work, I'm the director of my boutique division, so everything comes down to me. And then for the company as a whole, I have a role in the deadlines to make sure they're met. So I do prioritize work in that way. And then there was a lot of cancer diagnosis this year. And I was going to use this year to start practicing, certain rituals and rites on myself and my husband to see how it goes. But I ended up doing that for others. And that's where, I mean, between friends, family, and work, oh, they need it more. They need my energy more. They need this more from me. I overgive. I'm constantly emptying my cup. So that's what I mean about things take over. Like I prioritize outward instead of internal.
Okay, well, I just want to just like recognize and honor something that you shared. I think I heard it right. Did you say that your partner was diagnosed with cancer this year?
Oh no, a lot of family. We have
Oh, okay.
family,
Family
friends,
members.
and friends. My best friend, breast cancer
Mm,
this year.
yeah, just
A lot of
really,
deaths.
yeah, honoring and recognizing those parts of you that I'm hearing want to give to others and yeah, and going through that, I know it can be really, really challenging. And so again, I'm inviting you to tune into what is it for that part of you that feels that everything comes down to you? What's going on for that part of you? Where does that belief come from? If that is a belief that everything comes down to me and that it impacts things, right? I'm hearing that what that means is that and deadlines need to be met and you're the head of the team. And so if everything comes down to you, there are some actions that those parts of you are creating to make sure that those things get done. But then as a result of that, yourself gets put to the side and your healthy habits get put to the side. And so maybe the key lies in looking at where that belief comes from and finding a way to override that belief.
Totally. And I know it's more than just boundaries.
Yeah, exactly, right? So that's such the interesting thing that it's always more than just boundaries. It's absolutely always more than just boundaries because we need to get really precise here. Boundaries is a really big important part of it. Like we all ultimately have to be in an embodied place where we go, okay, this is what it is, and these are my boundaries. But it's about, yeah, looking at a deeper level as to where that stuff is coming from, what's really driving and motivating things. And in terms of that part of you that wants to do things for others as well, that overgives in that, there's going to be some parts there that also feel that they have the responsibility to do things for others and overgive to others. And so looking at that and asking questions around that is going to be really key for you to bring into group therapy. Is that where that part of you, locate that part of you that feels that it has a role there. And what is it concerned and afraid will happen if you don't give that much, if you don't overgive? I think that's the key, is to ask that part of yourself, well, what are you afraid will happen if you don't overgive? What would happen if we just brought that into balance and just gave what we could? And that's where you'll find some of your keys. So thank you for sharing that. Great. And Rose, I see your hand up there.
Yeah, so much of what you said resonated with me in past roles as a manager, feeling that sense of responsibility, not wanting to take any time off when you're feeling the pressure, working after hours, going home because it's this agile working, you can do a bit extra because if you don't do it, it comes back on you, and it's just that real weight of responsibility. So much so I can just feel the burnout, you know. It's that work-life balance was completely imbalanced and out of sync, and I could feel it, and it has a knock-on effect on what you do at the end of the day, what you can't do at the end of the day, what you eat, it's just all discombobulating really. And I was pushed really because I could feel the warning signs, and I was pushed to what I now call a sacred pause. And I took time off work, and I took 4 weeks off work, which is unheard of, but I took it, and I spent maybe a week and a half of that letting go of the narratives that were in my mind about the fact that I'm a manager and I'm a leader and I've taken all this time off. What's going to happen with work, and what's going to happen with the work, and what's going to happen to the team, and what's going to happen, and all this kind of belief systems that I had to sit with. But then I was also getting the answers of, you're filling your own cup. You need to rest. You need to let go. The work will be there when you get there. This is a time for you to restore and rebalance and really think about why you're doing it. And it was part of the old stories of people pleasing. It was people pleasing energy that was making me go the extra mile, and if I don't do it, no one else can do it properly, and you know, just that real sense of responsibility. And I really had to work through those stories, which led me to apply for another role. And the moment that I did that, the role just came to me. It more or less fell on my lap. It was, the pause was what I needed to do, and I was ignoring the pause because of what I believed it meant to pause. But the moment that I did, there was this underlying, you know, you've done the right thing, and you know how you have to just work through those mental challenges, those old stories that tell you you're doing the wrong thing. But I listened to that underlying intuition, the guides, and as soon as I did that, I just effortlessly moved into another job, and that includes applying for it, moving through the narrative that I can't possibly apply for a level job like this in 2 days because I've just never done that before. There's no way I can do a presentation in a day. All of these stories that would usually put me off, but for some reason I just moved through it and I was offered a position. So it wasn't really about getting the new role. It was more about allowing myself to have a sacred pause. And it's okay to, if the job can't be done in the hours that you contracted, then are you supposed to be doing it at all? And I just had to, I still move with that I know, so I do it sometimes, but you do have to create a boundary for yourself because you need that time to recharge because you give so much. You need to fill your own cup, and you need to, not just for yourself, but so you can give. And that's what I've learned, and I've carried that if you are a giver, then you need to give to yourself first so you can give. And that's what's really helped me.
Thank you, Rose. So well, beautifully articulated. Such a fantastic teaching of what happens when we surrender to the deeper knowing within of what it is, and we take that action, and then we just let nature do its thing. Like it just reorganizes and it brings to us what we need, what we desire, what is the next appropriate, energetically, the next appropriate step in our path. And I'm really always curious about what's going on when we deny others the opportunity to evolve. So when we're in a work dynamic, and rather than speaking our truth to our bosses, our managers about the limitations of doing the job within a certain time frame or the challenges or whatever, when we don't fully speak that or own that, when something's clearly happening, how are we influencing the field energetically? Because part of what's going on there is we're denying another person or another entity an opportunity to evolve by us being afraid to speak the truth. So we're creating this thing here, this electromagnetic injury to ourselves, as well as denying another. So nature is happening, nature is happening, nature is happening. The work thing is happening, but we're afraid to talk about it. And then we're denying this opportunity for the evolution to take place. I'm always so curious as to, energetically, is there actually more going on there than we choose to realize? And how much is that impacting us actually? So when we talk about depletion, is it as clear cut as those thoughts are depleting me? Is it just about that? Or is it that my actions and inaction is also depleting me energetically? Any other sharings, reflections on that? Any other, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I really resonate with what you said there, Rose, massively, and very much it's just interesting to think about what is happening on an energetic level when we're afraid to say what we truly think. And what happens with me, I think, in a professional setting is if I feel and I'm getting a lot better at kind of feeling, what's the energy that this person's putting out, like imagining their field. And if somebody's, I'll just take my headphones out because I can't hear there we go. Yeah, when that's happening energetically, and what happens in my work is we work as an agency, so it's non-stop, deadlines and working to the bone, and then just powering through and then letting go, and then powering through and then letting go. And it's the energy that it creates in people. Most people, their energy field becomes very big, very like loud, and very oppressive, I would say. And my response to when that energy happens, usually before a deadline, is I will cower and I will kind of do the opposite of what I won't match that big energy. I will completely almost like wilt when that happens. And yeah, it's just very interesting because that's just what made me feel and visualize what's happening now. I can picture the energy now of somebody else. It's red, it's hot, it's like searing, and I go in the complete opposite direction, almost like a frost has bitten me, and I'm just, totally wilted. And I just would love to know how I can match. But like, do I match somebody's energy when that's happening? Because it happens all the time. We have it every single week. There's a deadline and everybody's pressed. A lot of people get angry. The heat is just being generated, and my instinct is to cool down, but not in a good way. It's very yeah, like almost like a small death. Almost like I can feel parts of myself just switching off. And yeah, I would love to, and this happens not just at work. This happens in everyday life in you know, with neighbors and people that I work with, you know, and it will be a personal relationship, but may also turn into a therapeutic connection as well. And if I am matched with that big energy, I mean, yeah, it's just what I heard when I heard what you were saying. Yeah, that was my reflection.
Thank you for sharing, being so honest and open, and you know, amazing content to bring into these sessions and then to take into personal therapy as well. And also your buddy sessions. So don't forget about your buddy sessions. I'm gonna have I sent an email out about that already? I don't think that I have. Have I buddied you up? Have I buddied you up, Kate? No, I haven't.
No, I don't think so, not yet.
Okay, I'm gonna send your buddy pairs out. So that's another really beautiful space for you to also do this work, share, process. Really great space for that too. Um, and Kate, what I would say is it's the art of creating self-presence in those moments. And we're going to be spending this space really drilling down into like the skills around that in the group therapy and also in this space too. Ultimately, we've got to learn to be with our parts, be present in those moments, because actually the solution is just self-presence. The energy, the self energy, just being embodied in that energy has the ability to match anything. That's what the matching is. And I think that when we're in our head and in our minds, like our parts concoct this narrative that we need to like match someone's energy. So if like they're up here, then we need to meet them with the like with that energy and we need to assert ourselves at this level. Or if they're down here, then we also need to like minimize ourselves to this level. But I feel like it's just a bit of a correction on that. And it's like if we're embodied in our self-presence, then that confidence of that presence, that energy of that confidence is the match in itself to meet people where we're at. And so if we trust ourselves, people trust us. If we feel confident in ourselves, they have confidence in us. And so we can speak challenging things and about concerns. And we can say things like, well, I just think that that deadline's really unrealistic. And we can speak that with a confidence or with a courage that then is met also with an appropriate level of confidence or softness or clarity or whatever in the other person. We mirror that self energy, it makes it more likely for that person also to relax, for their parts to relax back and to be in a space where they feel like, I feel like I can actually just be myself here and I can kind of soften, I can sort of speak. And it's about that. It's about how do we create the space in that moment to be with ourselves. And a lot of that is, again, simply practicing, starting to notice now, Kate, when you're in dialogue with others, whether it's work or personal life, and starting to see, okay, I'm noticing my parts are starting to drift off now. And noticing that and like being embodied in presence. And it's, we really actually learn to hold our own system whilst we hold someone else's system. So we're doing two things at once. And there's an art to that. And it will get easier and easier over time, but use every interaction you have as practice to stay present in your own system.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And continue to bring what you find when you're being present, bring that into group therapy, into your buddy pairs, and we will work on it real time.
Brilliant.
Thank you. Any other final comments, reflections, ideas before we finish for the day?
I want to share in myself some idea.
Sure.
In my practice, sometimes I am struggle with to express myself what I feel, because during the therapy, sometimes I feel the emotion inside the client, and I want to explain them very quickly and what I feel. And sometimes I don't explain exactly what I want to say. And I start to record myself. And all the time I work with one topic, with emotions, or to make connection between injury and emotions. And now is the best because I start to practice every day half an hour, and I start to be more fluent and more confident and more sure. And it's really important to be 100% present when we do the therapy, because the feelings and the therapy is in another way. When our thought go in another side, in past or in future, what we have to do, the therapy is just 50% up to me. And is the best way to be more confident. And when clients so us we are sure what we say, what we are doing, they start to trust in ourselves and to get better through these things. And I feel more confident now. Thank you so much, Natasha, because you believe in me. And sometimes I am overwhelmed, and I feel like inside, in my soul, little bit upset because I can't express or to be more confident, more fluent. And but in time, I am sure will be much better.
Absolutely. And this is something we're going to explore, I think, in month 3, with the theme of client facilitation, professional practice. A big part of this for me is about contracting with our clients explicitly. So, as part of our process that we do with our clients at the beginning, if we explain to them, this is the work that I do, this is the potential that there is for you, for your transformation, and that requires me to work in this way. This is my method. I like to work on the mental, emotional, and physical bodies. So yes, I will look at your injury, but what I would love to do is track back what's happening to you emotionally and mentally, so that you can understand why your injury is manifesting for you, what it's showing you, what it's revealing to you, and then also you can heal it fully. If you explain that to your clients, and I just made something up there, people, you're all going to want to have something that you share with your clients that is an explicit contracting up. So they're really aware, and then they can agree to that or not. They can subscribe to it or not, because then if they do agree to it, and you can negotiate, they might say, oh, I like this bit, but I don't want that bit. And that's great, because then clients can be really clear with you about what they want, what they're not ready for, or whatever. And then you can respond in that way. So then that probably will do a lot to clear those parts of you that feel afraid of saying certain things, because now your client's given you permission. So then, that probably will give you more confidence. And if it doesn't, and you notice things there, then great, we'll work on that kind of stuff. But then also it's to recognize that when we don't make this contract with our clients, but we're over giving. That's what's happening. We're giving, or we're noticing these things, and then we're thinking about it. Should I tell them? Should I not tell them? We create mental neurosis. We create emotional burdens ourselves. And that's where we deplete our energy. So if we know from the beginning, my client doesn't want this, I don't need to think about it. I don't need to worry about it. We can do that work to let go of it and to show up in that moment. So it's worth all of you also starting to think about this as part of this process. What is your process of contracting with your client? Because the key to doing your work within your boundaries, within your capacity, within your capability is in that beginning process. And that is going to be the make or break of your energy system.
Thank you.
Yeah, great question. Thank you, Tamara. I'm really looking forward to exploring this more with you all. Okay, Maisha, we'll take your final question and then we'll round up for today. Oh, you're muted.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so part of moving forward, I think another thing I'm going to be working on is when I get challenged on some decisions. Like my last day at the office, of course, before winter break, I stayed late, and I kid you not, I spoke to the building. I prayed. I said, okay, this version of me that this job is used to, I'm letting her go. I did this for a long time, and this version of me has to go away. I told myself when I get back to work, I'm working 9 to 5. I'm taking my hour lunch break. I'm not answering emails for the first hour because that's when I make everyone's emails my priority before my own job. And I'm not answering emails during my lunch hour. I'm not answering emails at 4:30 because if someone emailed me at 4:30, it can wait till tomorrow. When I did the whole holiday things with my family, again, after I left, I said, okay, this being the good daughter and the good sister and the good aunt, that version of me has to go away now. And I felt so empowered, but hearing everyone shares just now, I thought of, oh, well, I'm going to have the intention of sticking to this protocol and what I just said, and I'm going to be challenged. Maybe not right away, but I'm going to be challenged. What do I do when I get challenged? You know, so that popped up during everyone's share. So just keeping my eye on the prize and making sure I know what to do, how to present, how to be when I'm challenged on how I want to be now. Thank you.
What a beautiful note to end on. That it just beautifully sums it all up. Thank you so much, Maisha. And I would love for you all to go away with Maisha's sentiments and really just keep practicing and know that you are working with nature and aligning with nature, and that in itself is going to aid and assist you and reorganize things in your life. And as you become the sun, you then start to become the organizing force in your life, just as the sun is the organizing force in our solar system. So be diligent in noticing what challenges come up, what resistance comes up to you doing your practice. That's what month 1 is all about. This is stabilization. This is all about like looking at what is blocking us from stabilizing. Because when we go into month 2 is about self-leadership. So this is stage 0 actually. Month 1 is stage 0. And then month 2 is, okay, now let's do the internal work, right? So remember that, those of you that remember that immersion 1, there's a subtle difference here. We don't need to launch into the deep work right now and be like, oh my God, I need to get straight into those childhood memories. What we're doing here is we're looking at what's blocking us from doing our practice. What's blocking us from doing the stabilizing? That's number 1. That's stage 0. And then we'll go into the other stuff later. so wonderful to be with you all. I'm so excited to see where this evolves next and look forward to seeing you all at our next session. Look out for your emails. And please book in your strategy call with me. I'm going to send out an email as well today, just reminding you. I'm going to give you your buddies, give you your strategy call link, and let's get going. I would also love to offer all of you guys a free space on our Dharma Source Codes program, which is starting on the 3rd. It's a month-long process. It's a 2-hour session every Sunday and an integrated yoga practice every Wednesday. It's free for you guys. If you want to join, you can access the recordings, you can access the teaching. So I'll just go ahead and enroll you onto that course. And if you want to come and join the live sessions, that would be really wonderful. It's a little gift for you there. All right, my loves. I'll see you soon. Bye.
Lots of love. Bye.
Lots of love. Bye.
Bye.